Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Matt with Green Bar Trading. And, like I said in yesterday's video, a video that halfway through, I ended up screwing up. We're in a new setup, so I'm just trying to get my bearings set. It will get better as each video goes along. Because right now I have the camera on a different side. So I'm always looking at this side where the camera used to be. So just bear with me. But today, this morning was a nice momentum morning. This morning we saw two stocks. One was gapping up over 150% at the time. That was COSM, and we had NUTX, which was on our continuation from yesterday's trading. So you could see here yesterday's trading. If we look at the 5-minute, this thing ripped up from $4 to $13 a share. So nice to see. So it held up a little bit. It did pull back a decent amount, but it held up in the pre-market, and that is when I got involved in some of my trades. I'm going to get into the trades in a second, but I just wanted to go over my TOS type of layout that I have here, because I always like to have my watch lists over here on the left side. I have my live news that comes in, as it comes in. And then for each stock, I have the news on the stock. I have the level 2, the price ladder, which is where I enter and exit my trades on this, with either selling, joining the ask, which is how I sell. I always want to sell on the ask when price pushes up really fast. I break out of those levels. I'm hitting join the ask, and that's how I do it on TOS. When I'm buying, I'm looking for the level 2 and where those orders are, and that's where I'm entering my trade. So that's just a little bit of the back, sort of my platform and how I have it set up. You don't have to set it up like this, but this is the way that I like it. This is the way I'm used to it. I have time and sales right here. So I have everything I need right in front of me. And this really works out well with the 1-minute chart on the top, and I have the 5-minute chart on the bottom. The 5-minute chart is so important when trading momentum. So my entries are on the 1-minute, but I want to make sure the 5-minute has that confirmation. So I'll get to that in a second. So we traded NUTX, we traded COSM, and we traded the micro E-mini futures, and we're sitting up $147. We are pitching a perfect game. This is very nice. All green on these trades. So that was very good to see. But it is really nice to see this sort of momentum that we've been noticing more and more. And this month hasn't been that bad for momentum. So very nice to see. So now I come into the pre-market, and, as I'm looking at my scanner, without this, I would have no idea what was gapping up. I want to be trading stocks gapping up the most on the day. So I see there COSM. The only thing is there's zero news on this stock. Okay. So at the time I said, you know what? Wait until that one proves itself a little bit more before you get sucked in. So the first stock that I traded was the continuation play from yesterday, and that's NUTX. So on this, and I'm just going to make this a little bigger for you guys. So on NUTX, this one was not gapping up the most, but it did have yesterday's huge move. And, I'm trying to play on a lot of traders with that FOMO. And that's exactly what we started to see here. So I notice here, 950 really looks like a key level to me. It's also a psychological level. And then in the pre-market, I always map out here the high of the pre-market. Well, that was actually after hours. Still a very clear pivot point there. And you can see here, we came up to it twice, pulled on back. So that was an area I really wanted to, see if we can possibly break it. We did break it, came back down to this trend line. And that is when, and I ended up not taking these trades. These trades here for me were still, those very low volume, you guys can see here, sort of that low volume here, the first few moves, the 5 minute at that point was very extended. So I wanted to try to wait for a bit of a pullback on the 5 minute. Now, the trade that would have worked out the best that I missed for whatever reason, maybe I was doing something else, was this trade right here. And this is that 5 minute candle that broke out. So we had the pullback, the first pullback on the 5 minute, which you can see down here. Sorry, I'm just gonna move this along. So on the 5 minute chart, you can see the first pullback. Like I said, I'm always monitoring this. This would have been a very nice trade. So for whatever reason, maybe I was trading the futures at that time. That is not something that I got involved in. We did come to those previous resistance levels and we sold off. So, if I was going to get into these trades right here, I would have been selling into this as well. And it is exactly where we saw that pullback. And that's why it's so important to know, your levels from yesterday. And not just from yesterday. You want to also look, obviously, at the daily chart, which I will always have. Before I take any trades, I want to know where the 200 EMA is on the daily chart. Make sure that we're kind of clearing that level or just not running right into it. So how I traded this one was waiting for the pullback, right? So you have, at this point, that FOMO can start to really get to traders, okay, up here. One thing you have to realize is this is at 7:30 in the morning. A lot of times we'll get these moves from 7 a.m. when a lot of platforms open. You'll get the move to 7:30 and then you'll see it pull on back, okay? So knowing that, that is not where I want to get in here, okay? If it's 7:30, yes, the FOMO is definitely real up here. But like I said, we're coming into previous resistance. So just, hold off, sit on your hands, let this thing show you what it wants to do. It ends up pulling back and setting up for a little bit of, a 5 minute setup. It did pull back quite a bit for a 5 minute setup. But at this point, I'm not looking for much. I'm looking to scalp. And I know that if I can get some bounces off of this trend line and the break of VWAP, which is exactly the play that I was looking for, well, then there's a good possibility. And that's all we're doing is we're trading in probabilities that I can scalp this next move. So this is a break of VWAP, got the break, and that's when I start to scale out. I immediately slam the join ask. When I see us pushing up and that next candle going, I want to play into that momentum. And I'm always going to take, a third off of the trade just to pay myself as we go. Got the 10 cents there and then ended up taking off the next one up here at 18, at 918. And then the final trades here as it pulled on back. I always like to keep some runners to see, maybe we could retest this high. But at this point, knowing it's before 8 a.m., after the big move already happened, this is why I was really keeping it and playing it really close. and just trying to take that profit as we go. 300 shares, 2 or 3 minutes, and made $50 on that. So, very happy with that trade. It wasn't, a life-changing trade, but the technicals were working out and everything else, the game plan, all coming together. So that was good to see. The next one we traded, this one was, like I said, was gapping up. I mean, it was trading at 85 cents on Tuesday, gapping up all the way to just about $3 a share. Massive move. So when was I trading this? Let's see. Can we get a show trades Thinkorswim? Yes, no, maybe. All right, so Thinkorswim's not showing my trades right now. So let's go into monitor. We'll go into this and we'll see where we bought. Right here, we bought at 276 at 8:23 in the morning. So 8:23 a.m., this is where we bought, okay? Right on this candle here. So as we're pulling back, we're curling up. Now, this is super important. The reason why I got into my entry on COSM was because I was anticipating the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, okay? And by the way, the reason why I wasn't trading this here is because there was a trend line that I saw developing. We saw the sell-off. So I wanted to wait until this thing got, wanted to break out of this area. So, you got to know where these trend lines are. It was holding up, which was good. And then we got the breakout right up here. But the reason why I was taking the trade here at 8:23 was this right here. 8:23 is in this candle here. So we pulled on back. This is the leading gapper, okay? So everybody's watching this stock. It pulls on back and we see this really nice sort of candle developing on the 5-minute. I was planning to jump this for the new 5-minute candle to make a new high and take my scalp. And that's exactly what I did. So from 8:20 to 8:25 is when that new setup happened. So here at 8:23, I got in. We saw the first 5-minute candle make a new high. We got this explosion. I took 1,000 shares and scaled out. So I think I took 500 off first and then scaled out that way. Let's see. Yeah, 500 and 500 at the same price. So 82. But that's exactly what I'm looking for. Coming up to this double top area, I want to be taking profit into that move. Got the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Scalping. This is all scalping. In and out very quickly. Right here, this trade is just over a minute. That's it. 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's the entire trade. That's what I'm looking for, are those quick moves that other traders are looking at the same time. So that's $147 trading these scalp trades. If you guys have any questions on, how I set this up, just ask. I'm sure I have some videos on YouTube from, a year ago when I actually, made a video on this. Could always make another one. But here we go, coming into the open. Let's see what these do. COSM, trying to push higher. Watching the level 2 here. Got rejected at VWAP. Let's see the other one that we were trading. Pulling on back a little bit. Could do a red to green, who knows? COSM trying to hold up here. If this could break through 250 and VWAP, this would look good for a pushback to the highs here. Got another one moving. Here comes the Momo scanner. This is a really nice scanner to have. This is the same one that Warrior Trader uses. I also have a video of this one as well, about how to set this up in Thinkorswim for free. So these are good. This is good. Almost 100% on this. We got over 100% gain on that. Not bad. So we're seeing some momentum. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. Like I said, I'm going to work on the setup a little bit better for you guys, but this is how I trade, how I scalp momentum stocks. And, you know, it's 9:30 in the morning and I've already made 147 for the day, which is nice. All right, so hit the thumbs up for me. If you're new, subscribe. I'll see you back on the next one. Take care, guys.